Anthony, I'm 25 and I work for a tech company and I have a YouTube channel on the side.
I'm Freddie, I'm 17 and I live in southwest London.
I'm Louis, I'm 21, I'm from southeast London, I'm an art student.
My name's Sanjeev, or you can call me Sanj, and I do men's fashion on YouTube. And I'm 25 years old.
Can you introduce yourself?
Yeah? This is my fucking channel, bitch. My name is Sanj. My name is Magnus. I'm 21 years old and I create fashion, YouTube, streetwear, content and videos, I guess. I think clothing's got a massive impact on my life. Although I don't like admitting it, it's the thing I think about when I wake up, it's the thing I think about when I go to bed, and I'm very fortunate it's become my job to work with clothing, but even if it wasn't my job, I would still care a lot about it. I think my style means a lot to me. It's like you yourself is this little fragile kid, and then your style for me is like the barrier outside where you kind of push your feelings out to it, you express yourself through your clothes, and you know, it's ultimately clothes for me can make me feel really good or really shit at the same time.
My style to me kind of represents some of my other interests. So I've always been into gaming and tech and futurism and that kind of thing. And techwear definitely has elements of that. It's very forward facing. It kind of looks towards the future a lot more than it does draw inspiration from the past. So it kind of appealed to me on that basis. So in a sense, yeah, some of my interests come out through the way I dress.
I think my style is an extension of my own self. So I think it does reflect not only my mood and what I'm feeling on that day, but it does reflect my personality. I definitely do dress older than some of my friends because I wear things like suits and I wear things like trench coats and overcoats and sandals.
I wouldn't say I have a style, to be honest. Some days it's like street, some days tech, some days skate. I like just like vintage and just buying into brands that I'm interested in rather than just sticking to one thing. But I like pushing the boundaries and experimenting with stuff that you wouldn't normally wear like every day. So then if you do wear it and you get used to it, it's all about like getting used to like fashion, I think, and experiencing like, out of your comfort zone.
I would describe my style, the way I would describe my style, I hate this question. I'd say it's fairly eclectic, I guess you could say. Versatile and confident. So the first time I truly went shopping on my own and tried something that was a bit out of my comfort zone was when I first wore some skinny jeans. And that was, I want to say, yeah, 16, maybe 17. I was with this girl that I liked back then, and I tried on some skinny jeans. She was like, damn, you look hot. And I was like, sick. This is me now. This is my life, skinny jeans.
The thing that gave me inspiration to dress the way I do is basically entirely from social media. And I remember seeing those first techwear pictures that I first came across and being like, whoa, this stuff is so different. It's so futuristic. And it was kind of a time where I wanted to change the way I looked and be a little bit more out there. I'm definitely sexually attracted to techwear. Fuck, I'm like mic'd up. Don't put that in the video.
The first time I kind of started to think more about fashion was when my brother started caring about fashion. He started getting these horrendous Babe Star shoes with like SpongeBob on them and stuff like that, and made no sense to me at all. So I think that was my first entry into fashion and something that's been over the top. I started wearing a lot more streetwear stuff when I was 14, 15, I'd say. Then I went more kind of classical, and then now it's kind of progressed into a lot of just color blocking, more into single statement pieces build up.
Probably from when I was about 16, I was interested on like looking on Instagram and like bits and pieces like that. And then just going like when I went to my first Supreme drop, I don't even know how long ago that was now. So I used to be like a Supreme kid head to toe. When I first got into fashion, it was like Supreme, and then meeting people through Supreme that introduced me to the wider range of fashion and like what it is.
My mum was big into fashion when she was a little bit older than me, so I've always been very interested in it, and my mum's helped me with that and sort of like given me stuff that she's worn, and I wear a lot of her stuff. With her eye, it's quite good to see what she likes, to see what she thinks is good, and then to have a conversation with that.
I think clothing and fashion affects my confidence probably up here, like a lot. There's nothing worse than wearing an outfit, you look yourself in the mirror and there's just something wrong. So I think fashion and clothes definitely affect my confidence a lot. Sometimes you just don't really feel yourself, and it really sucks because you kind of go into this downward spiral where it doesn't matter if you didn't wear something that's really nice, you'll still kind of be affected by that negativity almost. To a certain extent, I hate that we put so much into our clothes and how it makes us feel, but at the same time, it's how we portray ourselves, and I think that's very important to remember.
If you're dressed in something that you feel really good in, that you think looks nice, then yeah, that's gonna give you a little bit more confidence. Sometimes if it's like the dead of winter and I'm super dressed up in like a massive jacket or something, it almost feels like you're wearing a big suit of armor. It feels like no one can really touch you or no one's gonna bother you. You're just kind of doing your own thing, and I kind of like that.
I feel like when you do wear something that isn't you, and that's not to say that you can't try new things, but say, I don't know, you were to just take some clothing from your friends whose style is completely not yours, then it can definitely hinder your confidence because you might not feel as good as you do in your own clothes.
Because if you're wearing something you feel confident in, then it'll radiate in what you're saying, how you carry yourself, how you act in front of new people.
Strangers' opinions affect me sometimes. It depends on which kind of mood I am in already. If I'm kind of feeling unsure about myself, then a stranger's opinion can be that tipping point where you're like, fuck it, shit. Like that really stung in a way, that really hit somewhere. But at the same time, when you're feeling good and nothing really matters, like they're strangers. I've come to a point now where most stuff I just brush off, but if I'm feeling a bit down for the day or a bit unsure or uncertain, that's where strangers' opinions can have an influence on me for sure. You
need to be so confident, borderline arrogant about how good you feel in your own skin. And it's easier said than done, and it's definitely something that I feel like I've worked on over the years. Like if you're a 16 or an 18-year-old watching this, for example, then it might seem tough, especially when you've got your boys surrounding you and cracking jokes at each other, but just bat it away.
But you can sense when people are like staring at you and looking at you differently, so if you let it affect you, I feel like you're never going to get anywhere. Like if you're outside the box, obviously people are going to judge you because they're not the same as you. And looking into artists that are out there and like don't really care about what people think of them is like sort of what I look up to in a way.
Yeah, I wore a com suit in like a sort of like tweed and check pattern. And it was really, it was my mum's one, it was really fitted and it sort of came in a lot. For me, it was sort of like realising that in that state of like, oh yeah, this is really cool, this is how I want to dress. This is how I want to push myself, this is how I want to present myself. If someone talks shit about my outfit, at the end of the day, it's just a piece of clothing. It's not really that deep.
Opinions definitely mattered a bit to me at the start. Like if you show up somewhere and people are like, oh, where'd you get that jacket? Like it looks really stupid or whatever. Yeah, that can make you feel a little bit self-conscious. But ultimately, people who say things like that, they don't really know, they don't have that much understanding. So it's not their fault that they're reacting in that way, but at the same time, you can't let those opinions really bother you because ultimately you're the one with the knowledge, you're the one that's making the decision to wear these things.
I think my style in 5 years is going to be a lot more formal, and hopefully it won't be too different to what I wear now, but at the same time, in 5 years I might just look back and think, what the fuck was I wearing?
No, my style has definitely changed. Looking back at old pictures, mate, it's cringy. But you know, it's all part of the fun and what makes this a journey. But at the same time, I'm appreciative of having gone through that for me to now be able to regret it.
I can't even think what I bought, but I went to it was a sample sale quite a while ago. I literally just picked up a pair of trousers that was just different, and then it got me into like looking into different stuff rather than just being obsessed with one thing. So I wanted to like explore looking at different cultures and how cultures influence fashion. So I looked like, my dad used to be a punk, so he's always dressed not the same as like a punk, but I've always had like that background of looking into that kind of thing. And then yeah, being always dressed in Supreme, it just hit to the point where I was just like, oh, I want to try something new.
I think my fashion sense has changed via having a greater understanding and appreciation for what I wear, and understanding how to build an outfit on one thing or two things, and then blend in different tones and colours and all that sort of stuff. I think hopefully I'll be wearing more expensive stuff in 5 years, but I don't really see my style changing that much.
I think it's important sometimes to bring in things that you wouldn't normally wear or are a little bit different, because that's the way that people evolve and how people start to dress themselves a little bit better. I definitely bought things in the last 2 years that when I bought them I was a little bit uncomfortable with them, but now I've worn them more and more and they've become more of a part of my wardrobe, and now I feel a lot more comfortable wearing them, and I think that's a good thing. If you look back at me 5, maybe a little bit more years ago, I would basically just wear a plain white V-neck t-shirt with a blue shirt over the top, and like that was it. And I don't think that does a very good job of showing other people who I am. So yeah, I would not be scared to experiment and to do things that are a little bit different. Maybe I will look back in a few years and be a little bit embarrassed about what I'm doing now, but that's a good thing. You want to be constantly evolving and changing who you are, and your style of clothing should reflect that.
When you've got a social following, you've got a very big pressure to constantly expand your style, try new things out, because you've got these followers expecting new stuff. You know, you want to create new content, you want to always have the new stuff, new sweatshirts, new hoodies, whatever it is. And it's like this cycle where you keep buying clothes, you get tired of them, you buy new clothes. So it's very, very materialistic and very sad when you think about it. Yeah, I think I've got a lot of pressure to always kind of perform in a way. I'm very flattered when people either take inspiration from what I wear or listen to what I say, but at the end of the day, I just want to create something that I'm proud of, and if it helps anyone or inspires anyone, then that's my job done.
Through like Instagram and going to different shows and just seeing what different people wear and how they wear their silhouettes, that often changes how you dress, like wanting to experiment more and try different things. I think it's quite cool, like getting a message just out the blue and someone's just like, I really like what you're wearing, or where did you get this from? It's almost like you've influenced how they like express themselves. I think it's pretty cool.
I think age had a massive factor on how you dressed yourself. But now, because you have things like Instagram and social media, people are able to dress themselves, you know, however they want, because they're exposed to much more. In sort of like January, I started taking fit pics and sort of sharing them on Facebook and doing that sort of stuff. And it's sort of just like, when people say something's good and they enjoy what you're wearing, it gives you a massive confidence boost, because it means that there's sort of a sense of approval almost, like from other people. And I think that helps a lot, because it means that you are a bit more motivated to try out different stuff and wear different stuff.
I've often said that I pull inspiration from anyone and everyone, whether it's my friends, my family, people that I follow on Instagram, celebrity. There isn't like a set person that I go to, it's just a combination of multiple people, and I feel like I'm just the melting pot for the inspirations that I pull from. But at the end of the day, just be true to yourself, make sure that it falls in line with who you are, because there's nothing worse than you copying something head to toe and it's just not for you, and you don't look confident, you don't look comfortable in it, and it's obvious.
Doing YouTube videos, sometimes there's a little bit of a pressure to buy things or wear things that fit into particular categories, because you think that they'll make good content or they'll be interesting for other people. So I try and balance that with things that I personally like. And then ultimately, I think that's a good way of making sure to keep your personal style and to wear things that look good to you, and you're not just dressing for other people. People love to shit on social media all the time for making people very consumerist or chasing likes or any of that kind of thing. But I think it allows communities to form in a way that has never really been possible before.
If I was to talk to my 16-year-old self who just discovered fashion and clothing, then I would say just keep going, grow the thick skin that you've eventually grown, and have fun.
I would say just experiment and look into, like, obviously go on Instagram and just follow people that are out there and different, and then look at like their silhouettes or what they're wearing, and then look into the brands and see if there's stuff that you'd like, and then buy it and try it out.
Refrain from buying into something that's too expensive, because I think when I was getting into fashion, I bought like a box logo and it cost like £500. And it was just the most ridiculous purchase, because it meant that I couldn't buy a load of other stuff, and it sort of stunted my growth in terms of my progression of my style. Go to thrift shops, go to charity shops as much as possible until you're sure of a style that you want to follow, or you like your overarching sort of trends that you like and enjoy.
I took a very formulaic approach. I just made an album of things that I thought were cool, and every time I saw an outfit I liked, I would just save it, put it in the album, until I had maybe 200, 300 pictures. And then I looked through all of them, and then made a list of what are these common things, what do I keep picking out that I think looks cool or that I think agrees with who I am. And then once you have those kinds of common elements or those themes, then you can use that to inform how you dress.
Keep being experimental, don't fret too much over the bad days where you have a shit outfit, because we all have shit outfits and it fucking sucks sometimes, but it happens. So you're not gonna build your style overnight. You can't just buy a new wardrobe and then suddenly you feel amazing. You gotta just constantly go at it, keep progressing, try new stuff out and have fun, you know? It's fashion.